Okay, hey guys again. We're going to go ahead and do exercise 2 of Introduction to LabView. So we're going to go ahead and look at our challenge again today. So we have to modify our Fahrenheit to Celsius program, which we did last week or in the last video, to measure the temperature every second, which is 1000 milliseconds for 10 seconds, and display the temperature history in an array on the front panel. Note, you must use the run button only, not the run continuous button, so that means we can't hit our button right here, which allowed us to go back and forth as much as we wanted. This time we're going to have to actually use our single area. So what we're going to have to do here is, if you look at the solution, we're going to have a loop and we're going to have an array down here. So there's going to be 10, but we're going to put 11, which you see right here. That way you see that the 10th time it's not going, or the 11th time it's not going through. And then if I have time, we'll do the bonus as well. So we're going to go ahead and to our LabView. Now, I'm just going to keep what we have here because it's simpler and I don't want to do all the work again. So we're going to have to go ahead and make a structure, and we need to use a for loop because we don't want to go until we tell it to stop. A while loop is going to tell us, if we build a while loop, there's going to be this little stop button down here, and we have to make a variable that tells us when to stop, and we don't want to do that, so we want it timed for how many rotations we're going to do through the loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to make ours so that you can put numbers in it. So right here, this is going to be where we're going to use an integer, so we're going to make a constant for this. We're going to go ahead and put 10. So this means it's going to go through this loop 10 times, and then it's going to stop. And after the 10th time, it's not going to do anything. So what we're going to go ahead and do is, if you go ahead and look at we don't have an array. We have this little piece here. So we're going to have to put an array out here. So we're going to go to array and matrix. We're going to build an array under array, comma, matrix. And we're going to build that. And uh-oh, we have an issue. There's nothing here. It just shows a block. We have to tell the array what kind of the variables going into it, or numbers going into it. So we're going to put a value of a numeric. We're just going to put a numeric indicator. We're going to drag this into here, and now it's going to show our numeric. So we're going to go ahead and drag this out 11 times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And slide it down. Nine, 10, 11. Okay, so now we have 11. So now we have an array, and it's going to show up as a value array. So we're going to put this outside of our loop because we want it to display after every piece. So we're just going to go ahead and take this wire, because this is going to be the answer to our equation. We're just going to run it through our array, into our array. So we can go ahead and run this now. And it's just going to do it really fast. And we don't want it to do that, so it's got our time, and it's going to go through 10 times, but there's nothing telling it how long to wait before it goes to the next loop. It's just going to do it as fast as it can possibly process it, because we have, right out of our equation, we just have this wire running outside of our array, or of our loop into the array. Oh, and we want to have this array out here, because if it's inside we gotta, just a second. If this is inside, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna allow us to connect it, and it just shows up as a different terminal. So we're just gonna go ahead and run this out to outside, and it's gonna allow us to connect. So we have nothing telling us how long to keep it for. So we're gonna just take a timing piece, and it said wait for 1000 milliseconds, which is just 1 second. Right here it says for every second 10 milliseconds for 10 seconds, which is our 10 rotations through our loop. So we're going to set it to 1 second, so each loop is 1 second. So we're going to go ahead and go in our functions, and we're going to go into the timing, and we're going to say wait in milliseconds. Now you see it says milliseconds timer value and milliseconds to wait. We want it going in wait. So we're just going to right click on this and go to create constant, and that's just going to automatically connect it. You can do it with any of these. For these, I could have just clicked here and created constant instead of going in and clicking numerics. So once I have that built, I have my, it's got a constant here, so now I have to make it 1000 milliseconds, because 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So now it's going to wait. You just place this in the loop. We can't put it outside or else it won't do anything. So we're going to head, actually I'm going to show you, if we take this and cut it and put it out here, it's not going to do anything. It's still going to fly through there really, really, really fast. So we can go ahead and change this to like here. Run it continuously. It's just going to do it super fast. It's not going to do anything. So we're going to move that back into here. So it's going to wait 1 second or 1000 milliseconds for every loop before it goes back through again. So now we're going to try this again, and we're going to run this just with the run button. So I have this. Now you see it's slowly changing. So we're going to head and put 23 in here. It should change by one of these. Okay, yes. So you're going to see it shows up as change here. So we're going to run that again. We're going to change these really fast. So we're going to have 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Now it shows up as we have all of our new numbers in here, and it shows in our arrays. So it's done it 10 times, and you see we ended at 32, so it's going to end up as 0 the last 2 times. So that's how this piece works. You can use while loops for anything else. Now we're going to go ahead and make our bonus parts. The bonus, we're going to go up to the bonus. It says if you have, oh, whoops. It wants us to, okay, bonus, create a separate loop with a countdown timer from 10 seconds to 0 to show how much time is left. So what we're going to do now is, if you look, we're going to make a whole nother while loop, and we're going to have it here, and we're going to use a while loop this time instead of a for loop. So we're going to go ahead and make our while loop. So we got our while loop. And then we're going to have it wait for a countdown every 10 times. So we're going to have the wait the same inside, or else it won't tell that this is going through as many times as it does. So neither of these are actually directly connected. What we're going to do is make the wait time for each loop separately. So it's going to be the same wait, so it'll go through the loops at the same time. So we're going to put our time in here. I just copied and pasted it. Now, how are we going to tell the for loop to go through a certain amount of time? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a shift register in our for loop, or a while loop. So we're going to right click on our while loop. We're going to click add shift register. So this is going to make it so the loop keeps going around and around and around. Now, it doesn't have anything telling it how long to go. So we're going to look at this, and it says 10 because we have 10 going through right here. So we're going to go ahead and put our 10. Actually, we're going to create a constant with that because I just showed you how to do that. We're going to create, after I connect these wires together. Okay, so the wires are now not connected. We're going to create, you know what, this isn't working. We'll do it manually. Okay, yeah, that works. So we'll run our constant into here. For some reason, it wasn't letting me do it the other way. So now that we have our constant built, we have to build a countdown button like it says in our bonus solution. So it's going to be, we're going to have a countdown timer, so we're going to need another indicator on our block panel. So we're going to add numeric indicator, and we're going to name it countdown. So now it shows our countdown, and we're going to have we have to have it subtract 1 for every loop. So we're going to go into our numeric, and we're going to make a -1 piece. So we're going to delete this wire right here, and we're going to connect this to it, and it's really messy. So what we can do, since it's messy, as off topic, we can right click on our wire and we can click clean up wire, and this will clean up our wire. So now it's all cleaned up. Now it's -1 and then just going back through. So now we have to run our wire to it. So we have run our wire to it. So now it's -1 for each, but we don't have anything telling it to stop when it's done. So we're going to look at what he did, and he's going to have a converter from a orange to a green, which is going to be a number with decimals into a Boolean. So we're going to have to find a comparison. So we're going to go into our comparisons, and when you get to the end of your countdown over here, the number is going to be 0 because it goes around and it shows that it went around 10 times. Because what this shift register does is it saves this number. So this basically goes back around into here. So this is going to be your initial number. So it goes through this and it's going to say -1, and so all of a sudden this number is 9, and then -1 again, and then it's 8. And then so on and so forth until it gets to 0, which is going to be, since we have our times in the same, our weight's going to be the same, so it's going to end at the same time. So when this gets to 0, we want it to stop right here. So our countdown's 0. Now, we need something that'll make it do that from 0. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to choose equal to 0, because once it's equal to 0, we want it to stop it. So if you look, it has a DBL in here, and a Boolean. So we're just going to run our wire from our DBL into the equal 0, and then into our Boolean, into our stop. So this is going to ask, is that number coming out from here in the countdown, is this equal to 0? And if not, it's going to show up as false. And if it is, it's going to show up as true. So right now it's at 0, so it's going to say it's true. But you could use any of these for stuff. Basically, it's going to say, if this is less than 0, then it's true. But if it's not, it's false. And it's just going to be either a true or false that you can use with only Booleans. So we're going to go ahead and test this out. We're only going to hit it once. So all of a sudden it shows us our countdown. So we have to hurry and change our numbers really fast, so we can see all of our numbers. So once it gets to 0, it's going to change all these, and it's going to end your program, because this little stop button ends your program. Now, if we wanted to make this wait a little bit longer in between, you could just change this. So we could change it to 2 seconds in between each loop, so you'd have a little bit more time. So now we have 2 seconds, and it's a lot faster. You can choose your numbers. It waits 2 seconds first before it goes, and I'm just picking random numbers. Let's do 96. And it's just waiting. Once it's done, once again, it's still gonna display your array when it's all done, and you see the 11th one doesn't have anything in it because it stopped at 10. So that was up here, this was your regular assignment, and down here was your bonus assignment to please Mr. McKeel. I hope this tutorial helped. Watch my next video.